So hello everybody, this is Sarah Hayes, the Astromomma, and welcome to your October 2017 monthly horoscope. So before I get into the horoscope, this is a very dynamic and month of movement. I'm calling it the month of movement and abundant surrender to the unknown. So before I get into the monthly forecast, I have a couple announcements. So the first is to just acknowledge and thank everybody for your love and support of Astromomma, whether that be coming over to my Facebook page or going to my website, astromomma.com, and purchasing my readings. I really, really appreciate your support and, just your likes, subscribes, your comments, on my posts and my videos. I just really, really greatly appreciate it. So thank you so much. It means a lot to me. And then my second announcement is I am going to finally be doing the Jupiter and Scorpio video this coming week. So Jupiter is the largest planet in our solar system, and it is going to be going into the sign of Scorpio on October 10th. And anytime Jupiter moves signs, luck and abundance changes in that area of life, wherever it's transiting in your chart. So I will go through each sign, starting with Aries, ending with Pisces, whether that be clearly your sun, moon, or rising sign, and see how Jupiter's transition into Scorpio will be affecting your luck and abundance. So stay tuned. So now on to October 2017, the month of movement and abundance and surrendering to the unknown. So we start off the month with a potent full moon in Aries on October 6th. And, this full moon is going to be aspecting a lot of the outer planets. So full moons have to deal with completions, endings, culminations. Aries as a sign is the first sign of the zodiac. It rules the individual self, where Libra, its opposite sign on the zodiac, rules the group and partnerships. So a full moon in Aries is going to be culminating, projects or ideas around your individual self. So you'll be, obviously seeing the fruition of some of these projects, whether they be, actual projects that, you've initiated, or just things kind of coming to completion with your own physical body, because Aries rules the first house, which is the physical self. So you could see, a new lifestyle diet suddenly start to show, the results at this full moon in Aries. And it's a very passionate, hot full moon. Aries is a fire sign, that is the element. So, again, new, or completions around, your physical body, your physical self. And again, with a lot of passion and drive, as Aries has. So this full moon is going to be opposing Mercury in Libra and squaring Pluto and Capricorn. So with the opposition to Mercury, which rules the mind and communication in Libra, we'll have to watch, our new projects that are coming to completion if they are in some way clashing with the group's ideas. So it's going to be kind of this dynamic, and this is really the whole month of October, but this dynamic of, I versus we. So with our communication with other people, are we being clear? Are we being decisive? Are other people in our life being decisive in the way that they communicate with us? Is their communication clear? With the square, which is a 90-degree angle to Pluto in Capricorn, it's going to bring up, completions and maybe some frustrations around groups, the structures of groups. Definitely there could be some power struggles. These are all cardinal signs, and cardinal signs, which are Libra, Aries, Cancer, and Capricorn, which have to do with initiation. So, they're at the beginning of each season, these signs are. So again, there could just be some indecisiveness around communication right now, with these with these projects that are coming to completion around the full moon in Aries. And then again, with the square to Pluto, there could be some power struggles, especially with authorities or government institutions, since that is what Capricorn rules. So that'll be, themes that we're going to be dealing with at this full moon. And at the end of the video, I'm going to go into the forecast for each sign with the full moon in Aries and the new moon in Libra, which is on the 19th. So stay tuned at the end of the forecast because I'll go over each sign. And then the next occurrence, which is October 10th, is Jupiter, the planet of expansion, luck, and abundance, going into the sign of Scorpio. So, Jupiter transits a sign each year. It stays in a sign. And when Jupiter goes into a new sign, there's new luck and abundance and fortune and expansion in whatever area Jupiter in Scorpio is transiting in your chart. And again, I'm doing a special video, so stay tuned this week because then you can see where it will be transiting in your specific natal chart. But Jupiter in Scorpio will bring up things, expansion around secrets, intimacy, shared resources, sex, death, rebirth. These are all Scorpionic themes. So we're going to see an expansion, and that can be positive or negative. So a lot of times, people say, well, Jupiter, is the planet of luck and, abundance, and it is, definitely. But really what Jupiter does is it expands. So that can sometimes be positive, maybe sometimes that can be negative. It depends on, the aspects it's making with other planets. This past year, while Jupiter's been in Libra, it's been making a lot of harsh aspects to Uranus and to Pluto, which has maybe kind of stalled some of the beneficial factors of Jupiter being in the sign of partnerships. So this year, once Jupiter is going into Scorpio on October 10th, it will be trining, which is a positive alignment with Neptune in Pisces. And also, eventually, it's going to be sextiling Saturn in Capricorn once it moves into Capricorn at the end of 2017. So a lot of support around structures, around the imagination, expansion around imaginative endeavors, and then also expansion around our structures with Saturn. Now on the 19th, we have this beautiful new moon in Libra, and this new moon is about partnerships. So new moons are new beginnings, initiations, new starts in our lives, and Libra as a sign rules the 7th house, which again is partnerships, alliances. All relationships are, under the 7th house, whether that be platonic, business, or romantic. So again, a great time to get involved with people, to merge on an idea, or, join a partnership with someone. Now this new moon is sextiling Saturn, which again, Saturn structures. Sextile is a positive 60-degree angle. So again, structures and lots of foundations built around partnerships. Partnerships that are formed on the 19th will be, very long lasting and have a solid foundation with Saturn in a positive aspect to the new moon. And then Uranus will be opposing this new moon in Aries. And Uranus is the planet of surprises, sudden things, sudden shocking events. So these new unions, these new partnerships, form very suddenly. You could all of a sudden meet someone that you want to collaborate with, or you could all of a sudden meet a new partner, romantic partner, kind of out of the blue with Uranus there. So all in all, this new moon in Libra is very positive. It's very uplifting, and it's got that nice support of Saturn and, Uranus kind of giving it an interesting little twist with surprises around partnerships and unions. So now I'm going to go into the full moon in Aries, new moon in Libra forecast for each zodiac sign. And I'm going to start with Aries and with Pisces, and this can be either your sun, moon, or rising sign. So let's get started. So Aries, the full moon in Aries, new moon in Libra is happening in your 1st and 7th houses. So a full moon in the 1st house has to deal with the physical body. So completions, endings around a physical regime that you've been doing, a workout plan, a diet plan. You can finally see the results of that at this full moon. And then the new moon in the 7th house has to do with new beginnings and partnerships. So new relationships, new unions, again, whether that be romantic or platonic, definitely can happen at this time. This is not the time to go in it alone with the new moon in your 7th house. This is a time to join up with people and form collaborative endeavors. So Taurus, the full moon and the new moon are happening in your 12th and 6th house. So a full moon in the 12th house has to do with completions around your either subconscious mind, demons, anything that you've been dealing with that you've needed to release. It's also the house of healing, so there could be some finality around any kind of modalities that have to do with healing. You could finally be seeing some breakthroughs inside of your subconscious mind, or things could be coming together. You could also be having some very vivid dreams at this time with the full moon in your 12th house. And then the new moon in the 6th house has to deal with health, well-being. So you could definitely be seeing like new initiations and start with work, routine, new, you could take on new health and diet endeavors at this time. And all in all, you'll just be very busy. 6th house has to rule with everyday, tasks and responsibilities. So you'll be, initiating new tasks and new responsibilities in your everyday life. Gemini, the full moon, new moon are going to be happening in your 11th and 5th houses. So a full moon in your 11th house has to deal with completions and endings with groups, friendships, alliances. You could be finally seeing things manifest with your hopes and your wishes at this time, because 11th house also rules that. So new, new initiations as far as in endings, really, I guess I should say, not really initiations, but endings around your hopes and your goals and your wishes and your dreams. And, you could be ending a friendship and then beginning maybe a new alliance that's maybe more in alignment with you at this time. And then the new moon happening in your 5th house has to do with beginnings around your creativity, beginnings around with your children or involving children, beginnings with self-expression, so and love as well. 5th house definitely rules love. So new beginnings with how you express yourself, being creative, and having fun. The 5th house is fun. It's the house of self-expression. So Cancer, the full moon and the new moon are happening in your 10th and your 4th house. So full moon in the 10th house has to do with completions around either your life path, superiors, male figures. So finally things kind of coming to a head around those areas of life and seeing some completions around projects, maybe around your life path, could be happening at this time, or major career breakthroughs, things finally kind of coming all together, to move forward and, to be prosperous. And then the new moon being in your 4th house is new beginnings with family, new beginnings with property, new beginnings with your emotional foundation. 4th house has to rules your emotional, stability. So new beginnings around, how you deal with yourself and your emotional state could be happening at this time. Great. So Leo, the full moon and the new moon will be happening in your 9th and your 3rd house. So full moon in the 3rd house has to do with completions around either long distance travel, truth, higher education. You could be getting a degree at this time. You could be getting completing like a certification, or you could be, seeing some of the results of maybe either like self-development classes or, spirituality. You kind of finally be feeling a groove and feeling like you're seeing results of either that, that spiritual path that you're on, or again, it could be, receiving actual accolades for academic achievements, usually again in secondary education. And then the new moon, like I said, in your 3rd house will be about new beginnings around communication. 3rd house rules communication. It also rules vehicles, it rules siblings, your local community. So either new breakthroughs in your communication with your local community, you could be joining a new organization around your neighborhood. You could be having these massive new communications with your siblings, or just a group in general, just a local group could definitely be a factor at this time. So Virgo, the full moon and the new moon are happening in your 8th and 2nd house. So full moons in the 8th house have to deal with completion around shared resources, intimacy, sex, rebirth, death. So you could be seeing, your partner could actually be seeing a bonus at this time that will, obviously directly affect you, or you could be getting into a new partnership, maybe with someone in business, and kind of seeing that finally coming, to fruition at this time. And then the new moon, which will be in your second house has to do with new beginnings around how you earn your income. So, you could get a new job. You could find a second job at this time. Second house also has to do with self-worth. So you could be having new breakthroughs and realizations around your own self-worth at this new moon. Great. So Libra, the full moon and the new moon will be happening in your 7th and 1st house. So full moon in the 7th house is completion around, completion around partnerships, unions, alliances. So you could finally be seeing some results around group partnerships or endeavors that you're doing with other people. And then a new moon in your 1st house is all about you. So new beginnings with your physical well-being, with your actual, physical, look. You could be taking on a new wardrobe. You could be starting a new diet. You could be starting a whole new rebranding of your physical body at this time. And it's a really good time to start like a new diet, a new workout routine, just new beginnings. This is your solar return, so to speak, because obviously it's a new moon in your 1st house. So it's all about new beginnings around your physical body. Scorpio, the full moon and the new moon are happening in your 6th and 12th houses. So a full moon in the 6th house has to deal with completions around diet, around your job, around day-to-day tasks. So you could be, again, seeing the fruition of, possibly a new job. You could be getting like a bonus, or you could be getting a new assignment, from a client, a very prosperous client. You could finally be seeing the results from a diet or a lifestyle change. And then the new moon in the 12th house has to do with beginnings around your subconscious mind. So you might be, discovering new things about yourself and healing new, things that maybe have not been healed before. At this new moon, you're going to be releasing and initiating new forms of healing and also creativity, because the 12th house definitely rules with creativity. So you could be having new beginnings at this time. Okay, so Sagittarius, the full moon and the new moon are happening in your 5th and 11th houses. So the full moon in your 5th house has to do with endings around your self-expression, your creativity, possibly, your child or around children, love. So you could be finally seeing completions around a creative endeavor that, you're taking on, which I'm seeing. I'm a Sag rising, so I'm finally seeing some things happen around my YouTube videos. I'm actually going to be interviewed by a very well-known astrologer soon, and I'll have details. So again, completions around creativity, around your children, around your self-expression. You could be seeing some results around that at this time. And then the new moon in your 11th house is beginnings with friendships, new groups, new alliances, new wishes, new hopes could be happening at this new moon in Libra. You could be, finally seeing a new, endeavor happen around your community, your organizations that you belong to. Again, you could join a new expansive group at this time at the new moon. Capricorn, the full moon and the new moon are happening in your 4th and 10th houses. So a full moon in the 4th house is completion around family, your emotional nature, property. You could be closing on a property at this time, or you could be finally seeing some results around a property that maybe you've been renovating or restoring in some way. You could definitely be having some completion around something with a family member. Finally you have some kind of resolution with that family member, or again, you can have some kind of resolution with your own emotional nature at this time. And then the new moon, like I said, will be happening in your 10th house. So new moon in the 10th house has to do with new beginnings with your life path, new initiations and starts with male figures in your life, particularly like superiors, new innovative and inspiring paths, that you could be seeing. You could finally get, understand what your life path is, or finally find out what you really want to do with your life at this new moon in Libra. Aquarius, the full moon and the new moon are happening in your 3rd and 9th house. So a full moon in your 3rd house is completion around communication, siblings, local travel, vehicles. You could be getting a new car at this time. You could be getting, finally seeing like a completion around a project with communication or in your local community. You could be finally having a truce with a sibling or someone that's, maybe in your neighborhood, like a neighbor or something like that. But in general, completions around, communication and projects that you've been working on. And then a new moon in the 9th house has to do with new beginnings, with foreign travel, abundance, secondary education, spirituality, personal self-development. So you could be, discovering new forms of spirituality or, personal self-development classes that really inspire you. You could be beginning new trips abroad. 9th house rules foreign lands. So you could be looking at, possibly going to another place, or you could be learning a new language at this time. A foreign language would definitely be a manifestation of that new moon in the 9th house. And then Pisces, last but not least. So Pisces, the full moon, new moon will be happening in your 2nd and 8th houses. So full moon in the 2nd house can be fruition around your money. So you could be finally getting some type of payment. Again, usually 2nd house has to do with the money that we earn from the job we do. So you could be finally seeing some income come in from your job, or you could get a prosperous new client that, you land a lot of money that you didn't expect to get. And then also, some issues around, completions around your self-worth. So you could finally be like kind of turning a chapter in your own, self and how you see yourself and your self-worth. And then the new moon in the 8th house has to do with new beginnings around intimacy, shared resources. You could be joining a partner at this time. You could be forming a new company, or you could be receiving a inheritance or a bonus. Maybe even your partner could be receiving it, and then you will be the benefactor of them receiving that. So a very prosperous new moon in Libra in the 8th house. So guys, this was my take on the full moon in Aries, new moon in Libra for each zodiac sign. I hope you enjoyed it. October is the month, like I said, of movement, and surrendering to the unknown with Jupiter transiting into Scorpio. There's a lot of cardinal new beginnings and energy happening in the sky. And I hope you enjoyed the forecast. And I will be back for the weekly forecast coming up in a couple days, and then your Jupiter in Scorpio special video, which I will be doing this week. So thank you so much for your love, support. Please like, comment, subscribe to this video and my channel, and come check me out on astromomma.com and Astromomma on Facebook, and I will leave all of those links below. Thank you, everybody. Have a great month of October. Bye.